Hello.
What's up?
We're live, just so you know.
Yeah, I know.
You look good.
Thanks. I have to swap mics.
And give yourself a little bit of headroom.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm not comfy.
Yeah, get comfy. Hello, Trekard. How are you? Dinner was very good tonight. Thank you.
Test 1 2. Okay.
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay. I'm stuck now, so I can't move.
You're stuck now. You got a cat on you?
No, I just once this bar gets in front of me, I just don't move.
I see.
You want me to put some echo on this? We can put some echo on the.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
You're in a big ass room.
I did a whole recording, not realizing I had fudged the knob on the
That's
echo.
so funny.
And so I listened to it and I went, "This is disgusting," and I had to redo the whole thing.
So awesome.
And it was
so
for sure
awesome.
like a 30-minute fucking going over Spirit Force cards video, and I went, "This sucks."
It's very funny.
Because I don't have my own feedback in my ear.
Yeah. No, me neither. I think that's impossible to record stuff if you do it that way.
It's not that bad. It's on our docket, sir.
Literally just talking about Houston. That's
Okay.
literally it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we can easily fill an hour of that, and then like maybe talk a little bit about next event is Vegas, correct? Or is it the
Italy is first.
Okay.
Obviously, for people that aren't going to that event, then and then literally the week after that is Vegas.
Nice. Are you going to Italy?
Undecided.
Okay.
I think if I go to Italy, it will be because I will be assisting as staff.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think it is more wise for them to use local European talent for their European events. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't be there to like help support like Justin or Bill or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Easy enough. I want to change the colors on the Supershow frames. I'm not in love with because I got the UVS orange, but I have to go in and actually fully remake those. Not a today thing.
You could do
Not a today thing.
You could do like the League of Legends yellow.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a slight variation.
I do like the hot pink in the words though. I think it pops really well.
I don't like the hot pink.
You don't like the hot pink?
But
is there a different color you'd like?
No, it's your stream, dude.
Is there a different Barrett, is there a different color you'd like?
No, I'm not. I don't have another color I'd like.
All right, let me find another color that you like.
Oh my God.
How about this?
Jokes on you. I'm colorblind, so it doesn't matter what color you pick.
How about, is this any better? Let's do this guy. How's that? Let me know. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it's great.
A disgusting bright green.
Yeah.
Some fucking
TMNT ooze treatment for sure.
Game theory. You won't believe this.
Yeah.
Uh, There you go. I fixed it for you. I've done it. I'm a good friend.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the color where our names are.
Yeah. I was, but it will take me way longer to fix that rather than the
Oh,
words up top. Yeah,
oh,
because
okay.
I'd have to like go in and like reframe everything and like it will be difficult to do it that way.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I put out the word over on Facebook. I didn't put it on Reddit because I don't know where to post it, but I put it on Facebook. I put it on the Discords or whatever. But I'm down to jam and talk whenever you are. I've got a busy night off stream.
Yeah, I'm ready whenever. I'm doing response on play podcast after this, so
Oh, exciting. Yeah, let's just get it rocking then. Easy peasy. I'll click the record button and say, "Yo, what up? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the first ever Tam and Barrett Riftbound Super Show. My name's Tam. I'm joined by Barrett, the currently only Riftbound call-in show. This is episode 1, so that is technically a lie, as we are not doing call-ins because I want to prep you guys and prepare you guys for the future. We'll start call-ins not next week, but the week after. Barrett, hello. How are you?
I'm great. For the first time, maybe not ever, but in a long time, I've traveled to an event and did not come back with the crud. So it's been great.
Nice.
It's been great. Yeah, I
Nice.
got back from Houston. Obviously, that's where we're time stamping ourselves. And no, I had a blast. I'm back to work. Um, pumping out UVS product. Shout outs. And then yeah, I mean, just seeing where people are going and what's going on, because at least not for me officially, because like of the main event that we just finished doing, but like people are still talking about what happened this weekend and the results that were given. People have a lot to think about. People have a lot to be testing for, because I think the next big event is actually this coming weekend. Pro
Yeah.
Play Games is hosting their event, which they've been advertising almost even prior to the tickets going live for Houston. So I know there's a bunch of people that didn't go to Houston because they're going to Pro Play, or didn't go to Pro Play because they went to Houston, or are going to both. So like, I think this weekend is going to show us another shakeup. Not necessarily in the sense of it being a similar story of what happened this past weekend, but we're going to get more results and we're going to see some more high level gameplay. And I think that's what people want to see.
Yeah, I'd love to chat today because my plan is like an hour and a half at the most. I'm sure there's not too terribly much that we can yap about, but I do want to talk a little bit about Houston, and then I do want to talk about the event happening this weekend and what do we think the similarities of the event will be in. But before we get ahead of ourselves, this is episode 1 of a brand new podcast that I will be pushing out everywhere. My question to the people at home is, who are you? How are you relevant? And then I will follow up and do the same thing.
Sure. Yeah. Hello. My name is Barrett Bryant. I own and am the only person. I produce content for Riftbound on Riftbound Ramblings. You can go check out that stuff. You can also find me on Twitter at Riftbound Ramble, because of the character limit. And I officially got to commentate and cast the first ever Riftbound regional qualifier in English. And based off of what happened that weekend, I'm hoping that means there will be future events that I will also be commentating and casting, of course. And in that same vein, how did I get there? I'm an employee of UVS Games, and I had a lot of people that are working alongside Riot. As you are aware, if you paid attention to the stream, they grabbed color commentators from the Riot developers for Riftbound, as well as they grabbed a couple of color commentators that are more of just content creators, with Casanova, who works with Turn 'em Sideways. Shout outs to them, and then also myself. So knew some people at the right time, made some connections, and hopefully got to show off my chops this past weekend. And yeah, that's really what I do. So casting is really my main gig, and then for my main job, 9 to 5, I work for UVS Games, currently in their game design department.
Uh, let's talk your casting real fast before I go to my introduction. They had a stage where we could see the stream and like hear everything production wise. I thought you killed it, dude. I got to listen to like probably 4 rounds over the course of like the entire weekend, but like never a full round. So like a bunch of partial rounds because I was playing as side events.
Yeah.
And every time that you were on the mic, I thought you were really articulate, and I think you absolutely crushed it. So I think UVS games and the like would be it'd be doing a disservice to Riftbound as a whole to not have you back. I say that with my full chest, and not just because I'm your friend and I'm on a podcast with you.
Thanks,
What
man.
up?
That means a lot. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tam. I'm officially Barrett's friend, riding his cloud all the way to the bank because I also want to be in the booth. I think it would be so sick for me and you to get in and chop it up and do some casting. I think that we are a great duo when it comes to the other main card game that we play, Universes. And I thoroughly enjoy watching and spectating Riftbound, and I'd love to yap on mic about it. Full-time content creator, juggling 3 games, Universes, Flesh and Blood, and now Riftbound. And after going to this event this weekend, I am fully ready to dive headfirst into the Riftbound pool. It was going to large events for games is like such an easy way to get hooked, like a fish with some bait. And this event was no different, to the point where I went to locals last night, and I played, and it was a blast. I went 1-2. I don't know how Volibear ever beats Yasuo, and I found 2 of them rounds 2 and 3. I think it's crazy. But it was very, very fun, and so I cannot wait to do more with this game, not just content wise, like playing games, which is like my forte, but also doing more casting, which I guess I can tell you after pod of like my plan for locals, because I think I've got a decent plan for that. But yeah, let's chat Houston, because mine and yours perspectives are so wildly different
Yeah.
that I think it'd be fun to like go day by day, even like, not necessarily hour by hour, but like half day by half day. Like, what was your before noon? What was your afternoon? Like specifically, like we can barely touch on it. Thursday or Friday leading into all through to Sunday.
Yeah, my weekend starts a little bit earlier than yours. As someone who was on production and working not just with them, but also with UVS game staff, because they are my coworkers and I want them to be successful. And I wanted, as a business standpoint, a successful event as well.
Yeah.
I came in on Thursday. I landed at about 11 a.m. And then because I couldn't check into my hotel room because it was 11 a.m., I went straight to the venue and I met up with my boss, Bill, and other UVS games heads like Justin Parnell, if you met him this weekend, and Levi Lalonde, he was there as well. Big organized play names, at least in UVS Games world. So I spent the whole day with them on Thursday, and it was very much like being introduced to people that I would be working alongside with that entire weekend, whether it was people for REDAP or like Liquid Media people, which was the social media team that we used for that weekend, and they went absolutely ham on
Yeah.
the Riftbound organized play Twitter if you weren't paying attention to that all weekend. So I touched base with them about like when I was going to be available to do some content pieces for them or just to record a quick thing. I met with basically all of the production people, including my producer. Shout out to Anu. He was the man behind the curtain the entire weekend, as well as many other people. And so I got to meet those people on Thursday and see the setup of what we were working with. And then aside from that, I was basically there to assist with whatever booth needed help at the moment. So there was one moment where I was at the prize wall and we were making sure they had enough product for everything that was going to be there. And if they didn't, where were the pallets that were being dropped off that day or on Wednesday or whatever to go get them assistance? And I'd go grab a cart with other UVS Games employees and we'd bring them the product. Setting up the judge stations, all the POS systems that were there, that was us. We unpacked them, which set them all up. Getting prize wall tickets printed out and grabbed and stuff like that. And then I was over at the merch store helping put all the inventory behind the curtain. So I was basically everywhere on just like, I'm going to say the words boring event setup, everything that kind of happens behind the scene. And then I went to bed because I didn't really get to do anything else. And I knew it was going to be a long weekend. So I clocked in pretty early on Thursday. Plus, it was a travel day. I went to bed at like 8 because I knew I was going to be up bright and early for Friday. which then leads to what I would say probably the busiest day I had all weekend was Friday.
Interesting.
And the reason that is for everyone that is unaware but can probably connect the dots. This was the first ever English Riftbound regional qualifier, which means any sort of B-roll or like plugs or video content that would be playing in between rounds did not exist. So we had to create it.
Yeah.
And that means me, Cass, got dressed up and people were allowed to join into the hall. So we did a couple of, shoots before people were there where we got some things that we wanted to do that we knew we weren't going to need a lot of players in the background. But right after that, when the doors opened up and we knew that like the VIPs were going to be able to go in first or a couple minutes early. And then as the line was filtered through, because I knew that was a very long line, it took a very long time for people to get into the hall on Friday. As we kind of shift to like your perspective, we had a very clear-cut list of names that we wanted to probably get a hold of to do some interviews or people from other card games or content creators or whatever. And we wanted to try and touch base with them as soon as possible because although Friday wasn't the main event, there was side events that people were signing up for and participating in, and we couldn't pull them from those.
Yeah.
So we had a very quick timeline before that event started, and then everything else after that event began was very ad hoc, impromptu. We just had to kind of roll with the punches. But all in all, I think we got enough footage. I think we had a very clear game plan on what Saturday was going to end up looking like. We had a dry tech rehearsal that I went to on Friday. That was kind of cut short a little bit, aside from just sitting down with the rest of my casters and making sure we were all on the same page with like the microphones, the cameras, and everything like that. And then basically the end of my day was going to dinner and then setting up for Saturday, which we had a very, very early quick run a show. So that was basically my Friday, was recording and meeting people.
Yeah, my Friday was pretty chill. I woke up at like 3:00 in the morning and I drove 2 hours because my ticket to go to the event was in a 2-hour away airport, not out of Omaha but out of Des Moines. And then get on my plane at like 8 and land at like 11-ish in order to be in Houston. And the people that I was rooming with, they weren't going to be there until 6. And then so like day one, I'm like gross. I've like traveled a ton, and I'm carrying my suitcase in. They asked me to do an interview, and I was like, I look disgusting. I have not showered. Can we please do it later on the weekend? Ended up not getting there because of their schedule was super busy, and I'm sure I wasn't. Like we just like didn't right moment, right time. Probably should have taken the interview looking stinky, have literal green stink lines coming off of me, being like, "Hello, I'm Tam." But decided not to play in any side events on Friday, because I came in with 2 goals in the event. One of just like shake hands, meet people. Like it was awesome just like seeing everybody. And 2, I pulled a signed Leona, and it was burning a hole in my pocket, and I found somebody who wanted it, and I traded them like a signed Leona and an over number Yasuo not signed, and then I traded them like 5 cards for literally like a playset of every rare in the game, and like 2 Watchers and 2 Kaisas and a 3rd Darius, and I want to say like a Dead Bloom and like a singular Aurora, and we went nuts on this trade. And so like now for all of set 1, I've got it. I can basically make pretty much everything. There's some slight holes in what I have. Like I got a singular blue Ari. We probably want a couple more of those, but like such a good lead on what it is. But that was like my only 2 goals. Went to this incredibly good burger place. Because as you said, the line was so incredibly long. I took a literal 5-minute walking video to go from security all the way back to to the end of the line, and I was like, "There's no shot that I'm gonna be in this line for 4 hours." Which ended up not being the case. I think they got through that entire 5-minute walk. I think they got through the line in like 45 minutes, hour and a half, which like good on the security team for the event center. But this place was called Rodeo Goat, and they had like, for being downtown and being like a 5-minute walk from the event center, incredibly reasonably priced artisanal burgers. Like they had like this like sweet burger that had like candied peaches on it, and it was bomb. Like it was so good. And like my one regret there is, sorry, two regrets. One, I didn't go back. I wish I would have gone a second time, because the waiter there recommended that on that exact burger I swap out the beef patty for a chicken patty, and he's like, it's probably the best thing on the menu. And I was like, nah, I want a burger, give me the burger. And I was like, I messed up. It should have been a chicken patty, and I knew it. As soon as I took my first bite, and I was like, damn. But it was good. Proceed to meet up with the Response on Play kids. Big shout outs to them for being great hosts the whole weekend. And honestly, just vibed my way through into Saturday, where I now have a full deck. There was my most important part of my Friday. So Barrett Bryant gets done with all of his B-roll stuff, and I'm sitting down at a table, and I look at him and I go, I heard a rumor. There's some scuttlebutt walking around that a lot of the people, and this is a point that we can talk about. A lot of people came to this event, signed up for the premium badge, and then dropped. They just like didn't end up wanting to play the main event. Like,
I tangent on that.
So many.
Which the premium badge was actually like at a crazy deal, which I guess I didn't expect it to be. Obviously, with product being a little harder to get a hold of, the fact that it came with a booster box out the get-go,
yeah,
bar none, I think made the ticket worth it,
100%.
right? Because if you already figure out what the price of the competitor badge was, plus the side tickets of you paying more money to participate in side events,
mm-hmm.
the booster box you got with it, and the mat is actually beautiful.
Yeah, it's a great mat.
The Misfortune mat.
Ugh.
So, because I was afraid when I see something like a premium badge, I thought it was going to be like, oh, it's like not going to be worth it. But like actually 1-to-1, just from the booster box alone, I was like, oh, these are gold. But I agree with you. There are some people that just didn't use the badge.
It also let you go into the other premium line, and not the long line. You cut the line literally in 1/8, like to be in that shorter line, which meant like you're the first person to the prize wall tickets. You were the first person to find your seat. You're the first person in the merch line, right? Like so much like value out of that, and almost to the point where we could see that number increase maybe for the next regionals. Who knows? But it was I lost my train. Oh, the rumor that because people were just like going in and being like, I'm not playing in the event, they were gonna open up extra signups, and your boy didn't have a deck. So I went to my buddy Barrett Bryant and I went, hey man, I've got all these cards. What do you think the best deck that I should be playing is? And before the event, before anything, you went, I've got an Annie deck that I think is pretty good. I stole it from this other jabroni. I'm missing X, Y, and Z things. And I went, I just traded for X, Y, and Z things. Let's get a full-powered Annie deck. And so I went
you didn't have any Proving Grounds cards. And I go,
no,
that's what I have. Yeah, I have Proving Ground cards.
With our powers combined, we made ourselves an Annie deck. And I woke up bright and early, and I walked myself into the thing, and I was like, do we have badges? And they went, what are you talking about? Nobody said that at all, ever. Not one time has that been said.
Just a rumor, actually.
Just a rumor. But I have an Annie deck, and so on Saturday I get to play in a bunch of side events. And so I end up playing in the 1v1 thing, and I didn't realize this 1v1 event was essentially another tournament. It was 7 rounds of a day. My entire day was taken by this 1v1 event. And I ended up going X3, I think. I got like 28th, which got me 12 tickets, which pretty good. That's a metal card and 2 packs left over, which we will talk about the metal cards whenever we get there. But that was basically my entire day of just like going in, checking up on friends from the main event, shaking hands and saying hello to people, checking in on Barrett whenever I possibly can, because you had a way more exciting day than going X3 in a side event. Tell me about your Saturday, man.
Well, I would say more exciting. I'll be honest. Again, I think Friday was my busiest day because, I mean, full disclosure, like if there was one thing that I felt confident in what I knew how to do, it was the commentary stuff, and
Yeah.
that's what my Saturday was. Right. So, we had a schedule of which rounds I was going to be on, which rounds Cass was going to be on, etc. So I knew my day didn't begin until round 4, and I was going to do quite literally a 5.5 hour session of just commentary. So from rounds 4 to 7, I commentated, and it was like I went into a time chamber. So you talk about this regional or this side tournament taking up your entire day. Mine was commentating, and because we had the double stream set up, we were doing games from not just one but from the other, give or take. If there was some sort of reason why we shouldn't, like there was a couple of games that got axed, and the point of doing full commentary for both of the stream matches were because we knew that there was going to be some delays with not just 50-minute rounds plus untimed 5 rounds or 5 turns, sorry. We knew there was going to be a buffer from going from round to round. And as long as we pre-recorded all of these matches beforehand, we would constantly be able to fill the stream with gameplay. And that was our focus, was just gameplay. Because I think when it came to the first English Premier event, and also it being the only one that we're going to see a big highlight of these Origins cards, because our next one is immediately going to be Spirit Forge.
Right.
We wanted to highlight gameplay. We wanted to showcase high level Riftbound instead of necessarily appealing to newer audiences. Um, will that change in the future? I don't know. It's 100% up to the producer, but our producer had a game plan. We were going to appeal to high level gameplay, and we weren't going to pretend that our viewers were new players. I think that goes back and forth, but with that being said, I was in the booth for 5.5 hours, and I got one bathroom break when we had a quick pause in gameplay, and I fight or flight when I meant to say ride the wind, and I said ride the wind when I meant to say fight or flight because, you know, 2 cost spells that
Yeah.
are all over in the chaos decks. I said the word absolutely nervous.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know that I do it, so it had a lot more of like, especially my first one. If anyone goes and watch it, not that you won't will, but if you go back and watch my first match with Aaron, I said it way too many times I care to admit right now. But then I took a break. Like we did that one quick break in between it, and like I can catch the things that I do, and I went, I need to be more okay with some dead time. Obviously, I'm a yapper, so I will. But like something about like especially Riftbound, and I'm used to universes, so you can vouch to this. But like in universes, there is usually not a lot of dead time comparatively to Riftbound
Yep.
of the players making decisions. And I think I need to, and I learned very quickly after the first match of like I need to be more okay with the silence of there's no reason to fill the dead air here, right? Obviously not like a big beat, but like a small beat to like create tension where the player is also thinking through that like that tense moment. I think does go a long way. So I picked that up very quickly, and then after that, I think I did a pretty great job all weekend. Um, so that's my own self critique stuff. But yeah, Saturday came and went for me because
Yeah.
in between the times that I wasn't commentating, I did a couple more content filming pieces. Um, And yeah, I was exhausted by the end of the day, of course, just from filming and talking and yeah, it's a lot of mental capacity, remembering card names, talking about analysis, talking high level card games with a ton of players. But I got to meet more wonderful people, of course. I got to meet Jimmy Wong. Shout outs, he was there. I got to meet Jim Davis and had a wonderful interview with him and conversation. I got to meet obviously Dave Guskin, the game director for Riftbound, and did an interview with him. So very starstruck all weekend, very grateful, and yeah, Saturday was for sure just like execution day, and I wasn't too concerned about that. And same story as kind of go to Sunday for me. The only give and take for Sunday was we had to do this weird transition period where we weren't just using recorded gameplay anymore. We were doing the live feed for some of it.
Yeah.
And because it was then the live feed, I had this incredible moment in the game without spoiling it, but like or in the tournament where it was top 8 and we were watching Alan ZQ versus Diwali. and it came down to this like triple smokescreen in hand from Alan ZQ and Diwali. Like they traded units because of it, and Diwali had to like top deck a very specific thing after Alan ZQ had already made a misplay at the beginning of the game. It was this crazy moment where actually when the final events unfolded, the crowd exploded when they were watching the match. And it was such a good moment that my producer was like, Barrett, I need you ready to go right now and go do a live interview immediately following the game, which is like something we hadn't done and planned for all weekend because
Yeah.
we were using recorded footage. But in this exact moment when we were live, it it was so I literally got ready and I was like, yeah, man, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. And I got to stand there next to Zawali asking him about what just happened, and I was shaking because that game was so intense. Like it was
Yeah.
so good, and that was one of many moments that weekend, especially on Sunday, where just like the high level gameplay from players and the way that they were setting themselves up and playing around different things. The casting desk would cover something and they would say it, and then the players would do flawless execution to create these like impeccable moments on the stream. And as somebody on that broadcast team, you can't really ask for more, and it's really just up to us to like deliver on showing it. George G with back-to-back time warps for taking 3 turns in a row, crazy.
So cool.
Triple smoke screen play, crazy. Like uh, stuff like that. And it was such an incredible event to watch, to commentate, and then also to see, um, quite frankly, some of the prizes that these players won this weekend to basically be a life-changing amount of money.
Yeah. A new car for sure, right?
Down
And
payments on
more.
houses.
Yeah. It was really cool. And like the thing that I think I'm most impressed about with specifically this tournament, and I'm talking about like you're talking about specific plays of like triple smoke screen and the taking the extra turns, is this is all set one stuff. Right? This is all
Yeah.
like the game is like so interesting, and I don't have my ear directly to the ground, but I'm like tangential, and like it was only a week ago, 2 weeks ago that I even knew that Annie was like a force, and then a week ago that I got to watch a game and I went, oh no, like this deck is crazy. And then you talk like in set one we've got take an extra turn, and it happened twice on the big stage in the first regional to like take 2 extra turns inside of like that kind of hype and gameplay moment wouldn't happen with a safer card game set one, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is really admirable of the Riftbound designers to pop off and like and bend what the limits of what the game could be. And then like the meta is evolving and changing in such a way that like we'll just jump into it now. Kaisa was projected to be the best deck, and it got bopped out of top 8
Probably
completely, right?
didn't make it past top 8. The fact,
Yes.
and don't get me wrong, shout outs to Alan ZQ and George G. Alan ZQ, known competitive card game player, Legends of Runeterra, all these other things. Like, he got to take home the Kaisa, the metallic best of Kaisa, and got eliminated in top 8, which is unheard of, at least when you think of the past, we're in December? The past
Yeah.
4 months of competitive Riftbound, if you include China. And Annie, this being her first biggest showing, at least when it comes to competitive events, because like it's not that every legend wasn't represented even at the Chinese nationals. It's that the third most represented deck in the room from coming from nowhere prior to. And this also coattailed off of the weekend where Set made a reemergence. Where Set made an emergence into the format, at least here in Western Riftbound. And so everyone had their eyes on Set more so than Annie. But if you were in the know, if you were talking to the right people, you knew that Annie was going to show up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Cass and I knew. Cass and I were talking about it dinner of on Friday. We are like, we think Annie might actually be the second most represented deck in the room. That was not the case. Master Yi did still go overcome, but we were under this impression, we were talking about it all weekend, that Western players just don't like the gameplay of Master Yi, so less people were going to register it, even with how prominent the deck is and how proven it is.
Yeah.
Of course, we were wrong. Annie was the third most representative deck, but then you fast forward to the top 8, and half of top 8 is Annie. That kind of tells the story that Cass and I were kind of like setting up for, and it really, when it comes to the narrative of the event, I think we did such a good job of like setting that up and telling that storyline. And then for Diwali to take it down, being an incredible pilot all weekend that we got to put him on stream. I want to say like 3 or 4 times, like through his journey. I think we put him once on in day 1. I might be wrong about that. And then we got to do it like 3 times in day 2, just because of the way it worked out.
Yeah.
It showed, because like it's not an easy deck to play. It is very resource heavy. You have to play the right tools at the right time. If you take one turn too long to do the setup, the Kaisa decks, the Master Yi decks will eat you alive.
Yeah.
And then even in the finals, getting Master Yi versus Annie, although it was a 2-0, I don't disagree with what the public's ideas are that Master Yi is a good deck against Annie. It kind of is sometimes, but like Rebuke being a big problem that a lot of these calm decks have to deal with because it can't get defied, and how quickly the Annie deck can kind of get into position. I think we are going to enter this world now where we have to talk about set, like as a community. We have to figure out what's going on, because why did it go from basically being a front runner of 2 events prior to
Yeah.
0 representations on day 2 in Houston? Actually, no sets made it to day 2. What happened? We have to have a conversation. Second thing, if Annie is the new thing to beat and Annie has a crazy good Kaisa matchup, what do the Kaisa decks have to do to adjust? I think the biggest thing we can talk about is Dreaming Tree for Kaisa, not going to work anymore.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work. And because if you go and look at the lists, Alan ZQ wasn't on Dreaming Tree, and that's why I think he went home with the metal Kaisa. That reason alone, I think, is why he went home. Whereas even George G, I had the absolute privilege of meeting George and having conversations with him. He's a fantastic person, and I can't wait to see him in more events. He was still on Dreaming Tree and got second place Kaisa, of course, the entire event. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's after he squeaked in at 64th place. That's a conversation that Kaisa players are going to have. If Annie is supposed to be beaten by Master Yi, why did it go so wrong in the finals? Conversation that Master Yi players are going to have. And then when all of this gets talked about all together, we still saw success from. There is a real reason to not just play the best deck in the room. This weekend, I think, showcased this best of prizing is a massive success when it comes to an alternative way, an alternative side quest to go on for these events.
Yeah.
And even then, they still give us some of the craziest gameplay and matches you can imagine. Jeff Jones making top 16 with Lee Sin is the craziest story for the weekend, in my opinion. Oh, yes, it's Jeff Jones. It makes a lot of sense. He's a great card game player, no doubt.
Yeah.
But top 16 with Lee Sin, which is just a weaker Master Yi deck, is a crazy storyline. Volibear making a top cut appearance, great. Darius making a top cut appearance, great. You know, I think all of these are very, very nice. But I think we're about to go through a crazy shift again, because I don't know what's going to happen at Pro Play Games this weekend. Will it just be copy paste of what we saw this weekend? Maybe. Will the Kaisa decks adapt? Will Master Yi adapt? Yada, 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 full circle. And then we have another set coming out. So then it's just all going to get thrown back into the blender anyway.
Shuffle it up and play it out again. Before we talk about this upcoming weekend, I do want to talk about the pricing a little bit. And you talked about best of pricing. There were other metal cards available to the public. 35 of each legend available. 10 tickets, 10 prize wall tickets each. And holy cow, they were just the talk of the weekend, right? I think like that is the number one prize that people wanted out of the prize wall. It is the reason that I saw people dropping from the main event to just go farm side events to go grab extra tickets and then and then play. I saw people playing in the main event, like be mad that they had to that they were missing side event rounds to go find more tickets. Do you think that the prize wall, as a whole, obviously you spent a ton of time at the booth, was successful? Are there any? What was your favorite part about it? What was your least favorite part about it? What was your thoughts on the prize wall for the first regional?
For having no idea going into this event that this was even going to be something offered on the prize wall, obviously that's great. That's a great shock value, some real FOMO that people were figuring out on Friday that even existed. I think it's great. I think people just like alternative versions for our leader-based game of
Yeah.
Riftbound, because it's something you get to stare at all the time. I think it's a huge win for just like they feel great. They have some real weight to them. Like they are metal. Like you can pick one up and you go, oh yeah. I got to hold the best of Kaiser Prize from Alan ZQ. Like I just got to hold on to it, and I literally was handed it. And like aside from the monetary value of what it's, I literally like I dropped a little. I went, oh, heavy is the crown. Am I right, Alan? And I handed it back to him. But I loved it. I think the fact for me was, as a League of Legends fan, the amount of Riot merch that was there, I was so happy about, because I understand that but it's some of the Riot merch that I'm gonna use the words I've only ever dreamed of owning, but I can obviously go buy them online. But the reason why I said I would have never owned them is because I told myself I didn't want to buy them unless I went to a League of Legends event. And
Right.
spoiler alert, I've just never been to a League of Legends event. But now, being in a card game that is so literally the closest I can get to League of Legends without being League of Legends, the fact that the Riot merch was there, the plushies, the statues at the merch store, the Teemo hats on the prize wall, you can even
Everybody
get
was walking around
statues
with a
from
Teemo
prize
hat,
wall
dude.
tickets. I wanted one so bad, but as an employee and just wanting the event to go well, I wasn't going to take something for myself, obviously. And then the metallic prize just being icing on the cake. And then, of course, bare minimum, you just got to trade it in for Origins packs, which are basically liquid gold right now.
I mean,
so
I got 4 packs and I opened an Aurora. Feel great.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I want to talk on it briefly. I don't want to dive into it, but
Yeah.
I think there was maybe an underestimation by staff on how sought after these metallic cards were going to be.
Yeah.
And there was an adjustment done for the safety of people, as well as just the reality of what was going on in the event. I think the adjustment was very smart.
Yeah.
I hope something similar can be carried on forward.
Yeah.
And obviously, I guess if they're going to be this sought after, maybe they can print a couple more, but still make them remain exclusive to some degree.
Yeah.
I think the biggest one for me was like, if you were smart, obviously, like, go get a metallic Kaisa, good idea. But I think the real smart play was go get metallic Proving Grounds characters, because actually those legends don't have alternate versions, period. They don't have overnumbered, they don't have showcases, nothing. So the metallic Proving Grounds characters, especially Master Yi and Annie, the ones in the finals, and the premier competitive legends from that product, those are the ones I think you should want to get a hold of, not just the Kaisas because it's Kaisa, or Lux because she's a waifu kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it'd be weird to get a metal Lux. That would be crazy. Yeah. That would be.
But
nutso.
I was a fan of the lottery system. I understand not everybody was, because if you didn't win the lottery, you probably hated it.
Yeah.
But I think going forward, I don't know a better solution aside from just print more, and I don't think that's the solution people want.
No.
Because I think they do want them to be like a chase value piece.
Yeah.
But they still are distinctly different than the best of, which I think was a huge success this weekend.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a world where like at some point they print a secondary type metallic card thing. Like imagine there is the stack of, I'll just use 35 metal cards, and then afterwards let's get over numbers, right? Like a slight downgrade of like what the chase card could be. Like there's a world where you can make that happen, because I know that a lot of people were just chasing after like the payday of the hey, I got a Kaisa, I'm gonna flip it
Yeah.
for 2K at the event proper. Can't imagine what it's going for now. Now that like the event's over and you literally there are 35 and that's it. But like having some sort of thing where it's not like I guess I'm just gonna gamble on packs or whatever, but like walk away with like something really
And it's
permanent.
meaningful. Like it is distinct. Like, and I
Yeah.
think people do like that. Um,
You like
I think
you
it
could
just comes down to making the prize wall worth it. Like over, and you have to do that constantly, event after event, right? And so I think the metallic cards showed they
yeah.
were worth it. They are still just though, like you said, they're still pretty exclusive. At least that's how it felt.
Yeah. I think so. Here's the you easily could get the devs to all sign battlefields, right? Like, give me a foil battlefield, had the devs all sign it,
Sure,
and that's
yeah.
a prize wall thing. That I think that like could be sought after. There's certainly clever workarounds that you could make for extra prizing, but for the first one, I thought the prize wall was great. I thought it was very good.
Yeah. And again, I think even the merch like went a long way because like I'm not
The
I'm
merch
not a
is
statue
so
person.
funny. The merch is
I'm
so
not a
funny.
statue person. I'm not. I like plushies, sure, but like I'm not a things guy. I get it. We play card games, so whatever. But to me, it's like if there's a way where just by playing my favorite game, Riftbound, in a side event, I could get enough tickets and I could go get a little set statue that normally would cost me $75 to buy off the merch store, and I quote unquote got it for free.
Yeah.
Because of using these tickets that I'm going to accumulate anyway by playing in the side events because I came here to play Riftbound,
Yeah.
it's going to be a big win no matter what. And again, bare minimum, it turns into packs.
Yeah.
I think as long as there are sought after pieces within the product, which, at least based off of what we can see from set 1 and also set 2, that will exist.
Yeah.
I think some of these showcases and overnumbered for set 2 are going to be incredible. And it's not even out yet, so that's all just speculation. So I think as long as that is the plan going forward, and I think even way further down the line, you can put like old promos also on there that can be used for redemption. And I mean like so like the Buccaneer Misfortune was for showing up you got one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A year later, if Buccaneer Misfortune promos from year 1 end up on the prize walls, I don't think that's going to offend anybody.
No. Especially if the warehouse has a bunch of extras lying around, like you just like ship the 200 odd number that you have, and like when they're gone, they're gone. I think that's fine, and it also could like rejuvenate the secondary market of if the organized play and the merch store is like very clear of like we printed 5,000 of these, they're gone, like it's over. It would like make them now worth it and make them a valuable prize to have. But there's certainly some communication that could happen to make it there. But I agree. I think the funniest thing and was just the world's bundles walking around. So funny
So
having people walk around with 3 of them, just carrying them like it's Christmas Day, because they did not run out of world bundles. There were so many people going and buying multiples after multiples after multiples.
At the end of Sunday, they did sell.
They were out. Wow. Yeah. Friday and Saturday you could only buy one of them. Sunday you could come back and you could buy a second one. And so like everybody was allowed to walk away from the entire event, was allowed to walk away with 2.
And again, had no clue those were going to be here.
Yeah.
I don't think I know anybody that was showing up to the event on Friday and they saw the Worlds bundles being there, being like, wait, I thought I could only get this on the Riot thing, and that came and went like a while ago.
Yeah.
And even I didn't know that they were going to be here. And then on top of that, you could use your 10% discount on them.
Yeah.
Which was great for people.
Yeah.
That, again, alone, that FOMO of not being at that event, I think that helps with that. And it put, again, more of them out in the open, so hopefully scalpers will get hit by that, which is the goal. we want scalpers to suffer slightly. But more in the open means more people for them to have them. So, like, I thought that was great. And I didn't get one. And but I don't want one. Like, so, like, I didn't want one, but I'm glad literally everybody in that room was able to get one if they wanted to.
uh,
They could get two.
I also didn't get. I also didn't get one. I also have no desire.
Yeah, not for me.
That box was so full of air, dude. They sold a lot of air. That box was this
The stuff
big.
in it is
It could
good.
have been this big.
I'm not a sleeves guy. Don't want the sleeves.
Yeah.
I don't use playmats, so I don't care about the playmat. I like the promos in it, but I don't feel justified spending $100 for me
3
personally
cards in a
using just
Teemo.
those promos.
Yeah.
In the battlefield, the battlefields are great. Don't get me wrong, but like the rest of that, it just wasn't for me. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
I did buy the arcane ones, so like I have the arcane ones coming in. I'm gonna do a giveaway for one of them, TBH on that or TBD on that. But eventually, when I like those ones are interesting to me because they're very like display. You can put them on a wall type of thing, and they look great, obviously. So, but yeah, not for me. But I'm glad people were able to get them, and I do know people were trying to flip them as soon as they got them, as most people were with most things that weekend. Regardless, again, if you were trying to go and make money, there were many avenues for you this weekend. I wish you the best of luck if that's how you would like to participate. That's not what I cared for. But at the end of the day, I think both sides of this lever on this is what you came for versus playing Riftbound, I think both of them had a good weekend.
Totally. I'm gonna swap to some constructive criticism. I think it is a little lame that we did not communicate that these bundles were going to be at the event.
Sure.
I think if there's one big takeaway from the event is somewhere down the road, communication was lost for what was happening and how things worked, and even to the point of like judging and ruling, and even inside the event TOing. It was tough as we get to Sunday, which I think I'm down to gloss over like my Sunday because we got other things to talk about. But like, I was playing in a side event. It was the Conquest. I had to bring 3 decks, and I walked up to a judge who was standing next to the event registration, and I go, "Hey, I'm playing in this event. Please don't tell me that I have to write 3 separate deck lists for this." And they go, "It is not a big deal. It is a casual event. It's Conquest. You do not have to." And I go, "Okay, chill. I'm totally fine." And I meander around, and that was like 20-30 minutes before my event started. I feel great. I just happened to overhear somebody actually behind the counter say, blah, 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 "Yeah, you'll need 3 deck lists." And I turn my head and I go, "What? It's 3 minutes to my event, and I was told that I don't need deck lists." And so I walk up and I go, "Are you about to ruin my day?" And he goes, And I'm having to, as fast as I can, fill out 3 deck lists before round 1, to the point where we start that event 30 minutes late because everybody in that event had no idea what was going on. And so it's like there was a communication issue from the very top of what does this look like, not said to the judges, not said to the people. And that was there were these small little pinpricks all over the event that it's the first event, you can whatever. I gave to the point where like I went to Bill and I think one of the head judges that were there afterwards, and I was like, "Hey, you know what would be really smart of you? If you have an idea for an event, print out a little quarter sheet and hand it to the person and be like, if you're in charge of this event, this is how all the rules work. And like this is what you need for each level and blah 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 blah." And he goes, "That's a good idea. We should do that." There was some communication fall throughs that I think were just like the biggest pain points of the entire event.
Yeah, I think for sure, and I think you're right. You know, like however you at home want to hand wave, you know, based off of the first one and yada yada yada. Obviously, like I'm in the same idea, but even like main event related. Like at the beginning of the day, I was told, or at the beginning of the weekend, I was told, 50-minute rounds, 5 turns untimed, and that's a separate conversation. I'm like, awesome, sweet, and I go all the way till finals, and they go, yeah, all the way till finals, and I went, awesome, great. And then an audible was called on Sunday where top 8 was going to be untimed, which is fine as long as it's communicated to the players and they're all perky dandy about it. But like I was unaware of that until it was literally happening. So like I would have liked to have known the entire tournament format ahead of time.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So because I mean, when one of your top 8 matches goes to 80 minutes, or top 4, I should say, top 4 matches goes to 80 minutes, and you like are wondering how did this happen, and it's well because they were given untimed.
Yep.
And so, however you want that to be, but like I think like longevity wise, I don't think that's a good idea. But I think there was also just room, and again, some of this was like I understand. Overnight, from Saturday to Sunday, 30 something deck lists got leaked for the top 64 players. And by leaked, I mean literally, I think something happened with Card.io where their deck lists were visible because we were digitizing all of the top 64 deck lists that evening. And X amount of them that were submitted were visible to people in the event. And we had to call an audible of like, well, this was a sealed deck list event, but because of this, it's unfair to these players. So all of a sudden, top 64 turned into open deck lists. And like, I'm okay with that because that's how you be fair. But like,
Yeah.
that's not what the players were told before they signed
It's not
up.
what they signed up for, right? That's not the event that
Yeah,
they played
exactly.
this weekend.
And so like that happens. Obviously, there was then, of course, with any tournament, there were deck list errors. Some people had game 1 losses going into top cuts. So like again, I think when it comes to, like you said little pinpricks. I use the words little tiny fires. I think there were like little tiny fires all weekend, but there was never like a massive fire for this first one that was going to shut anything down, or that was, I think, going to make or break somebody's like personal experience of the weekend. And I think that's a win, regardless of how you want to look at it. Like even the event firing as quickly as it did on Saturday, I think was actually a godsend, because I was under full impression that round 1 was not going to start actually until an hour later, and I'll take 30 to 45 minutes delay. But like I thought it was going to be. I was also mentally prepared for what was going to happen if Cardeo crashed, which it didn't. Like it worked out, and so like I have to count my blessings, and that doesn't mean it won't happen in the future. But the good news is that it didn't happen this weekend. And I think people still got to have a good event regardless. So,
do you want to talk top cut decks and best of decks, or do you just want to talk what's happening this upcoming weekend, and then potentially Italy?
It's up to you. I've already talked best of deck lists on my own website or my own YouTube channel. Sorry. So if you want to go check that out, you can. If you want to do it, that's fine. I have very similar notes. I think again, like to me, I'm more interested on like what does it look like going forward, and I think that's what's on everybody's minds, because if you are a Kaisa player, you have a lot to think about. I think if you are an Annie player, you need to be prepared. Everybody coming to get you. I think if you are a Master Yi player, you have a lot of pressure on you right now to be the deck that can beat the Annies. And if you are a Set, Victor, Misfortune, anyone else, you have to exist in this turmoil of the meta going to make a shift, and it will shift. And all of that is on top of the fact of we don't have another official premiere event until Las Vegas for English. Obviously, there's Italy. And even then, Spirit Force is legal for both of those. So all these discussions we're talking about for Set 1 format stuff will be thrown out the window when we start doing Set 2. So much so that if you're not going to Pro Play games, or you're not doing these other sides, second, I call them tertiary events, you almost should probably just be playtesting Spirit Forge because the entire set is out.
Yeah, for sure.
And if that's the case, Godspeed, because that's a lot of stuff to be diving into the tank. And I do think there's a lot to be doing next set for not just the new legends, but for the ones that we already have our eyes on right now. So I don't envy the competitive Riftbound players right now, because it looks like a lot of hard work. Looks like a lot of hard work.
Yeah. So 4 Annies, 2 Kaisas, 2 Yis for this top 8. Are there any legends that you're surprised didn't squeak in at 8th at that one of copy? Obviously, it couldn't have happened, but like I know you're very high on Set, for example, or
Yeah.
was Victor supposed to be there? Was the lone Ari supposed to be there? What are your thoughts on who didn't make the cut that Annie was so overpowering or whatnot?
Top 8, no. I think the numbers to me in my mind just got switched. I was asked this question by Liquid Media. Cass and I, we were like, "What's your top 8 predictions?" And we gave them on day 1. So that's a crazy take, right? But I was like, I said 6 Kaisas, 1 Yi, 1 Annie. If you like look at ratios, like it's essentially where we ended up. We did a 4-2-2 of those 3 legends.
Yeah.
But Annie took what most believed to be the Kaisa position, right? Of the most represented in top cuts and then the sprinkling of the other backups. When the reality is that I think the Annie matchup was so good into the Kaisas that it allowed a lot of these Annies to make it as the majority of top 8, and Kaisa then being tied with Yi. That's where we ended up here. I would say if there's any surprise, I think it is crazy. I think this is a crazy conversation. That the Swiss champ at the end of day 1 was Dazzling Aurora Misfortune. That's crazy. And it's not because I think the deck is bad, but that deck is high rolly.
Yeah.
Very high rolly. And you Swiss champed on it? Cameron Young, shout outs to that guy. That guy must have ran hot. Hotter than the sun.
Hotter than the sun.
And even then, he got paired into George G because he was first seed and George G was 64th seed. And George G beat him in the first round of Top Cuts. The good old Swiss champ, the Swiss champ curse. And like, it happens. And because of that, Cameron Young doesn't even go home with the Misfortune Metallic. And didn't go home with any cash because cash carried out to top 32.
Yeah.
So, Cameron Young, I'm so sorry.
Hey,
but you did a great job.
If they would have played out that
job.
next round, he would have nailed it. He would have crushed it. The deck went to sleep and just didn't wake up. You know? It happens sometimes.
He didn't wake up. But like, I think that's a crazy. I think it's a great storyline. Oh, we can talk about Volibear. Volibear top 64 runs into actually the person who will proceed to win the whole event in the first round of top 64. We put it on stream. We had Malik X versus Dawali, and it wasn't close. And I love you, Malik X. I'm glad for the Volibear deck. One, no matter what, he got to go home with a Metallic because he was the only Volibear in top 64.
Yeah.
Congratulations. We also got to showcase him on day 1, and I just love it. Love it when production catches these players like on day 1 very early on. I think actually it was round 1. It was round 1, first round. We put him on stream, and he ended up making it to day 2. Being able to carry over that storyline, A+. Love that stuff. And he's still got to go home with the Volibear Metallic. Great. Going back to what you asked me, I was kind of chatting with some of the people in the chat. I think the Annie matchup is actually so bad for Set that it makes a lot of sense on why they didn't, because this was Annie's event to rise.
Yeah.
That means someone's got to eat the dust, which it was. Yes, I think Set's matchup into Kaisa is good.
Yeah.
And like that's great and all, but if you ran into any Annies, your run was over. Like not the whole run, but like if you ran into 3 Annies, guess what? They're probably going to be 3 losses.
Certainly tough.
So
yeah.
It's very difficult, and because of that, that means it's just you're not your event. If that was the thing that you were going through, because all of the players that were preparing this Annie technology, that was their event. It was their event. They picked the right thing at the right time for the room and the layout. I think the biggest wild card to me is I just don't know where the Master Yis go. And we saw great technology. I thought Clyde played phenomenally on the stream. Blarg, shout out to him, obviously taking home the Metallic and getting second place at the event. You can't be upset about that. But
yeah,
it's like, I don't know where the Master Yi technology goes because, again, if he's already supposed to be the answer to Annie, why did he get 2-0'd in finals?
It's a great question.
So we need to figure that out as a collective for Master Yi on where he goes. And if that deck shifts too much, other decks in the format will rise up and eat you alive, which is already a position and a good matchup for things like Victor. Like Victor already has a great matchup, in my opinion, to Master Yi. So where does that shape and form? Where does Misfortune line up in all of this? I don't know. I'm not a big enough expert for Misfortune. And then all of that combined, Darius still made a top cut appearance. Ari made a top cut appearance. You know what I'm saying? So like there's a couple of these inklings that are good enough to make day 2, and once you get to single elimination, it can kind of get a little crazy. So I don't know. I don't really know. And luckily we have enough time where the people can figure it out.
I am man, I have this weekend is crazy. I'm not streaming this weekend, but I super wish that I was. I wish that I was sitting here in front of my computer casting the games from the PPG stream.
Roleplay.
Ugh, I wish. I super wish. There's also a Flesh and Blood event happening this weekend that I'm gonna be glued to my phone and my girlfriend's gonna hate it. But I'm excited for this weekend. I'm excited to see what people took from this the largest first US regional and are going to adapt and change. And you said this was Annie's tournament. The next one might be Sets. The next one might be Victor's. The next like
yeah, I could change.
over the course of the past literal week, what did we learn? What are we coming back from this event and going, I leveled up so much because all of the real playtesting that we've done has been very secular. We've now gone to a very large event. What did the community say? All right, how do we fight the big bad?
And even playtest groups and connections have been made now across different people across the world and environments, and respecting game from each other. We haven't even talked about Teemo, but I think there's another storyline there, right? Where it's like, where does Teemo fit into all of this? Because Teemo does have access to the Chaos Domain, and if there's anything I learned this weekend, the Chaos Domain is the answer to Kaisa. The Chaos Domain has those answers that you're looking for that sometimes that deck just can't physically deal with at certain times.
Yeah.
Teemo has the Chaos Domain. Teemo has results, at least for getting and putting up a good fight. Even the most prolific Teemo player that was there this weekend, Prismaticism, didn't even go home with the Metallic. Someone else beat him in top 64 for that Metallic Teemo. Borica, I want to say, I think was their summoner name. Congratulations. So there is room to be expanded upon for things like Teemo. How's the Teemo Annie matchup? I don't know. I don't play Teemo. I think there's so much more to unpack here because even with 16 legends, I'll asterisk that, with about 14 legends, you get into this weird math of like not being a triangle format, not being a one deck, not being a two deck format. But you have to talk about these tertiary decks because they will be there. Because I think this best of pricing is real.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Like it's so real. And gamer, I don't know if you paid attention. However many card gamers, like competitive card gamers, from other card games that were there this weekend, how many of them were playing the Metallic Prize Wall Challenge or the Metallic Challenge, like the best of? A ton of them were.
Yeah.
A ton. Jeff Jones playing Lee Sin. You know what I'm saying? Like Prismaticism playing Teemo. And he's good at it. Don't get me wrong. Jim Davis on Jinx. Like these Frodan on Leona. Like you can't ignore the fact that all these gamers were like, this is what I'm here to win.
Yeah.
But along the way, while you're preparing yourself for a competitive event trying to get this Metallic prize, you will have tweaked your deck to be the best it can be in that current format or in that current event, and they will find their way to the top.
First and foremost, this is a call-in show. Next week, I'm going to be putting out calls and having people come in and call in. If not, me and Barrett, well, yeah, that's okay too. It's a brand new show. Might not happen. But the second thing is we're going to try something new where at the end of the show, me and Barrett want to cast one of your awesome games. So inside of my Discord, open up a Ask Tam a Question and drop a YouTube link to a video that you want me to cast, preferably your game. If we don't have one, then we can go find one. But we're gonna do a little bit of casting to get fun, exciting, awesome games out there and showcased in the community. Whether it be somebody big like I know that like Tolarian Community College did a 4-player game. Super fun to cast over top of that and and just yap and talk about it. Or if you recorded your locals and you would like somebody to talk about the cool gameplay over top of your locals, would love that too. But with that said, Barrett, where can the good people find you?
Absolutely. On Twitter, I am at Riftbound Ramble. And then, of course, you can find me on my YouTube channel with a similar name, Riftbound Ramblings. And yeah, I mean, don't be afraid to message me on Discord. I specifically do not have the UVS Games tag. I'm in the Riftbound Discord. I'm in quite a few of them. Don't be afraid to message me if you have any questions or you want to talk format, competitive stuff. Of course, don't be a stranger, but you can find me at Riftbound Ramblings.
Hell yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you much for watching. And as always, wish you well. All right. Officially done. Dope.
Nice.
Still on stream, still live, but we're it's just us in chat now. No more recording. Yeah, I figured out what I'm gonna do for locals. I figured it out. I recorded 3 matches last night, and once I get off stream tonight, I'm gonna commentate over them. Just me by myself and just put the games out. Yeah. Put my chops on it, you know?
If you want help, let me know.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm gonna do this first one by myself, but maybe next week. And by that I mean
alone is rough.
In 2 weeks.
That's how I was mainly practicing. It's rough.
Yeah. I can imagine. I think it'll be casual for the first one. I just want to cut my teeth and see how I can do. I learned to cast UVS by myself, and so I think.
Oh, fair.
I think at least give it a shot and see what's up, because I also have. I mean, pulling back the curtain, I also have 3 Flesh of Blood matches that I want to cast over as well, and so that's my night tonight. It's just like 6 rounds of casting. No time for video games
perfect.
tonight. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I've got another podcast I'm gonna help record with, so I'm gonna go help out them boys. They graced me enough to do the recording today instead of Friday, so I'm gonna go and do the response on play appearance. I don't know what the docket is for that one, but I said I could be on it. I know we talked about it since Atlanta, so I'm gonna go join them.
Why aren't you at the event this weekend? Just chose not to go, or no interest?
Pro Play Games, that one.
Yeah.
Because
you're allowed to play in that one, right?
I am allowed to play in the tertiary ones. Yeah, it's mainly just like I just traveled for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I came back, traveled for this. I have this week off, and then it's Buffalo and then Christmas. So it was more so of just not traveling for basically 4 weeks in a row. If Pro Play Games had, I did inquire about commentating for them.
Yeah.
Of course, that was before they knew who I was. But they've got Max Tapera. I think he's going to do a great job. I don't know who he's working with, but it'll be a great time. If I wasn't working the event, I don't really know if I care to play in it right now. I don't own cards, so I wouldn't show up. Like, I have a case of Riftbound coming that'll be here next week, but again, that'd be too late. So, it would basically just be me going to socialize. So,
yeah, save the money.
I don't
have a
save the money.
Go to Italy. To answer your question, Halonen, yes,
Halonen.
Going forward, are Halonen?
I assume.
All right, our replays of Spirit Forge playtest games of interest. Yes, yeah, for sure. I'm down for that.
I gotta learn those names.
I do not mind if they're on TTS. The big thing is if you can have a third party record them so that they are more sideways and not like your perspective, but like a sideways perspective. That would be the best for us personally, because that's the way that like it is done. So if you get like a 3-man operation, 2 of you play, 1 of you record, that would be the best for us. But I'd be down for that, even if it is on that dreaded tabletop simulator. Yeah, I think just watching more games sounds fun. Barrett, final words before I cut the stream?
Man, I love Riftbound, man. If you weren't sold on this game, 1, by going to the event and being a part of it, or 2, I think even watching like the level of intricacies and gameplays and being proven wrong about like the 1 set format or whatever.
Yeah.
If you weren't sold before, I don't know what else is going to sell you aside from maybe just like your favorite League of Legends champion coming out. But I'm so excited for the next set already. It releases this weekend in China, so we are already going to start seeing some high level Spirit Forge competitive play, and I
Are there any
think
Chinese events
we
happening?
have. I mean, they'll be happening over the next, like during January and such.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean,
I
yeah.
wasn't sure if there's anything happening in
You know,
December.
as far as I understand, their seasons are going to go similarly to by set release, or so. Basically, what happened for them is set one came out, and then they did like 4 regional qualifiers,
Yeah.
and then they did their Chinese national. Basically, I assume that will be the plan for each of these set releases for them. So, Spirit Force will come out. We will have a Chinese event soon that will be Spirit Force legal, and so I'm very excited to see what they're going to be doing with it. And I think there is a real merit to what they saw us do here.
Yeah.
They have a lot to think about because their events were not the same.
Yeah. 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 Significantly different. Larger though. UVS Games, please increase our cap. We could have fit another 500 people in that venue easy. Easy. There are so many tables not being used. So many
But they
tables
were
not
there.
being used. Okay. Have a good night, Barrett.
Bye.
Bye. All right, chat. As I said, that is gonna do it for me tonight. I do greatly appreciate it. It was it was fun hanging out and talking and yapping. We will be back next Wednesday for more on stream stuff, as well as I'm playing in a top 8 with my good buddy Andrew Porat. We drafted characters and we're gonna play some games. So with that, thank you all for hanging out. I do greatly appreciate it, and we'll catch you guys all